Hi, welcome to the Agents In. Today, we're going to do a hackathon on Android Termux services. And I'm wearing a VR headset in honor of hacking Android devices. It's the Oculus Go that's out of date. I'm a digger at CFEngine. I work on CFEngine. And we also have Nick Anderson. Who are you?
I'm Nick. I'm doer of things. And right now I'm getting ready for our Termux services hackathon.
Yeah, so today there's this thing called Termux, which has been around for quite a long time, and it allows you to have a command line kind of Linuxy environment, Unixy environment with lots of packages, kind of the standard thing you'd expect from a Linux distribution or brew or ports or any of those different things that give you lots of open source Unixy kind of software. And so the first thing I'll do is, so this Oculus Go, I bought it for 30 bucks off eBay. They said it was broken. I turned it on, it totally works. The only problem is you have to have a controller in order to set it up. So mine is currently kind of dead in that regard, but you can install packages. I got ADB working, which is the Android debug bridge. And so I can start the Termux app and on my Oculus Go. And Nick is going to help us set up SSH daemon as a service with CFEngine policies. So by default with, let's see,
So services promises are like this wrapper around methods, right? And so in master files, we have a standard services method that is the default if you don't select a specific type, and that just tries to figure out what type of system you're on, if it's system D or init or something else, and then manage the services appropriately for the platform that you're on. So nice. Termux has their own thing, Termux services, and we don't have any policy for that yet, so we thought we would try write some, add support.
Right. So I'm showing the services promise type, which typically your promiser will be the name of the service. And then
can you boost the zoom it?
Boost the zoom. Yeah, sure. How's that?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. So then you have like a policy, say like start or stop or something like that. And then maybe some dependencies and then a method like you mentioned. And then, yeah, we have Termux services, which have their own special commands. And actually this page doesn't, okay, yeah, so you need to install a package, and then you can use this command SV enable service, SV up, SV down. You can do SV status, SV disable here. Yeah, and then there's also an extra app that you can install called Termux boot, which allows you to start the services on boot. So then you could just turn your device on and you could have the SSH daemon going, and then you could SSH in and start your org mode, which is what Nick needs. He needs his org mode pretty much all the time.
Pretty much all the time.
It's his second brain.
Yes, it is. It is.
So where should we start, Nick?
So I guess, I mean, as far as like services go, right? I mean, do you want to pop up the services.cf from master files?
Yeah. Whoops.
Oh, also, I guess we were going to time box this, right?
Oh, right. Yes, of course. Good.
So we're going to see how far we can get in 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Right. Okay.
So let me get this old school thing here. Okay, so
got it.
Did it do it? Yeah, it's doing it. It's just backwards and I can't read it. Okay, right. So this will buzz us and make us stop.
Okay.
All right, so services.
Should I go in here?
It'll be in lib actually.
Right, exactly.
Lib and then services.cf.
Services.cf. Okay.
All right, and in here, if we scroll down a little bit, so here's the service method body, the standard services. So this is basically what happens by default. This body will be looked at if you don't supply one, or actually this body is only looked at if you explicitly ask for standard services. Otherwise, it does the same thing. It actually falls through. If you scroll down a little bit, this body pretty much just defines the service bundle that you're going to use for this, right? So you could have different service bundles under different contexts. So that calls standard services, and then this promiser is the service promiser, and then the policy is the name of this body. So if we scroll down a little bit more, we see this is the system D services body, and it goes to the system D services bundle.
So here's the standard services bundle right here.
Exactly. And so this one, that's
referring to, right?
Right. So if you just scroll up a few more lines there.
Go ahead.
Okay, so right there in that like line 85 to 88. So that's the services promise, and this is going to be used if you're explicitly calling system D services, then it's going to go use the system D services bundle. Now, often the service method is not supplied, and so the actual bundle that's used is this next one that starts on line 94. And if we scroll down into it, there's a whole bunch of documentation about the things that it's trying to find.
Right. So if you just say service policy start, it'll use kind of.
It falls into this, and then it starts looking at the system to figure out, okay, well, how am I going to handle it? Right. So for FreeBSD, it starts looking for its init stuff. If the service policy is start, reload, or stop, and check config mode is on, SVC admin mode sets to enable. So for all these different ways or different init systems. Right. And then eventually, if you keep scrolling down,
here we go.
So there's some stuff for check config. So some of that check config stuff is handled in here. And then keep going. We should hit methods.
Right.
Here we go.
This is the part that chooses which method is used, either like standard or rather classic or system.
Right. Yeah.
And so are we going to add Termux services?
So yeah, I was thinking that we'll first write Termux services so that you can use it explicitly, and then we can come back and instrument this. So, if we're inside Termux, hey, use Termux services instead of the other stuff.
Cool.
So really the first thing to start with there is to define body service method Termux services. Let's see here, system D, Termux. So I'm gonna send you some stuff.
Okay, great. I can put this on like my policy server and bootstrap my Oculus Go to it.
Awesome.
We do it that way?
Yeah. Okay, I think it's
cool.
fine. So I just sent you like the little definition for Termux services service method.
Okay, let me work through getting it started up here a little bit. So one of the things I would do is I would say package install CFEngine, and do that, and then see what the screen looks like. Okay, so it's downloading it maybe, or I think it's already installed actually. Yeah, so it's already the newest version. Okay, great. And then I think I can do like a CFEngine-IB 42 0.1, I think is my okay, yeah, so it's bootstrapping.
Okay, awesome.
And I'm just running a little shell script that uses ADB to capture the screen. That's how I'm doing this. It's pretty simple little script. And okay, so it's bootstrap successful. And then that, and then maybe I'll start a new terminal stop share. And then Nick, do you want to show the little bits of policy that you have while we wait for me to reconfigure my desktop?
Yeah, I can do that. Let's see here. Share my screen. I think it's this one.
I have a chat message possibly.
Yeah, I sent it into the.
Oh, you sent it. Okay, I got you. Right.
So you should be able to see my screen. So this is just
Yes.
kind of what I've started with here, right? So we have Termux services, right? And then it's going to, this is how we're gonna start trying to use it by default.
Okay.
So if I pull up over here, services.cf, and boost this up a little bit. You can look at the standard library for a lot of inspiration on how things are doing. So like the system D one, for example, you know, it's pulling the state. So that's one of the things that we need to do is figure out how to get a service's current status so that we're not constantly saying like, oh, well, the policy for SSH is to be enabled, and we don't want to constantly enable it. We need to first like be able to understand how or whether or not they think that it's running. So like, do you know how to do that with Termux services?
To check if it's running? Yes. I
Yeah.
believe I
Okay.
do. Yeah.
All right. How do we
Okay, so I will reshare my screen and we will go through this and stuff. Okay, so desktop one, share. I just switched to one desktop. So can you see the terminal? Yes, you can.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can see
so what I have here is this down here is ADB shell into my Oculus Go. You can see it says Pacific, and that's the code name for the device. Here I've got I'm on my Raspberry Pi 4 hub. And then we can go over here and we can see that this is a master version of this. I've had Echo. So this is my dashboard thing. Yeah. Okay, so that's all good. So then what we want to do to check, I don't think that I have SSH working already. I don't. Okay, right. So I think that it's set up. So if I start it, we can kind of interactively check it out.
Okay.
Let's see if this works. So what I do, my process with this device, since I can't look at the screen and type.
Can you, on the bottom screen, can you hit enter again? The bottom of this window.
This?
Your dock was covering it up. Okay.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good enough. Yeah. I'm not sure how to turn hiding on. Okay, there we go. Turn hiding on. Got it. Okay, so then this ADB screen thing, which is pretty simple, it just uses this screen cap utility that's built in, and then it pulls the image over, and then I can just look at it. So we'll do that, and then we can see that SSHD, I think, is started. So that's a good start. And now I can go over to here. Let's see, did I change this password? Let's go back over here and set the password. This is the kind of hackery you have to do when you're doing funny things like this. So, okay, right, it's waiting for new password, and then I'll send it once.
Okay, let me just write that down in my password manager.
You're good. Yes, you got it. Okay, good. And so, okay, so it's set successfully. Now, hopefully I can SSH into there now. Yes, okay, great. So now I'm in Termux SSHD. So then, so I can do SV status SSHD, I believe. It actually says it's down. That's weird.
Awesome.
So that's fun. So I could say up. No, okay, so probably what happened is that I started it manually. Right. And that's why it's like that. So if I do like ps grep for SSHD, did it kill it? Okay, there it is. So let's do SV enable.
Oh, wait, you've got two SSHDs running, the one you did manually and now.
Oh, it does look like, no, I don't. This is the same one, right? So that's
okay.
SSHD, and you see the parent process there.
Got it.
Yeah, let's actually, I have some notes for this in my personal policy. There's a bit where I was checking a particular file. So they don't have a real good way of checking if it's enabled or disabled. So what I found is I can list this prefix directory var service, I think. Yeah. And so that tells me that it's enabled. All right, so if I do sv disable sshd, I guess it's not there. I guess it's not changed. That was one of the things that I thought. See, it's, you know, as in most Android things, it's a bit flaky. It's not as well thought out, or yeah, I mean, it's thought out nicely, but it's not as well refined, I guess. But yeah, so I thought that that directory was the indication of it being installed. So I guess the service installed maybe is this run thing. So let's do that. This is the kind of stuff that we need to kind of inventory and collect so that we know like the state of the system. But certainly we can do sv status sshd and it's down. So we can parse that. We can look at, you know, something like
what's the return code?
Oh, okay, right. So that get back to this, return code is 0. But if we do a service that's not there, so that's one that we haven't installed or enabled at all, right? And the file does not exist, right? So it's probably checking that directory, you know, foo, right?
Right.
And actually, which SV, I think it is. Oh, I don't have file. Okay, fine. I'll take file. I think it might just be a script. So we could just look at it. It is not a script. Darn. Okay. Well, anyway, so we have some things that we can look at.
All right. So let's
policy.
Let's start with like just the running state.
Okay. Okay, so I'll switch over to my Raspberry Pi and get over there. And I'll just, I don't have any kind of source code control put on master files.
So we'll just edit it directly.
Okay, so where should we start?
Okay, so let's go, let's be on the managed device that we're looking at, right?
Okay.
So like SV status or whatever. Okay, so I guess the first thing we want to know is it currently running?
Right. And so we use status SHD.
Okay, and we decided that the return code doesn't tell us if it's running, right?
Right.
Okay, so if you do serve SV status SHD again, and what's the return code? Okay, so the return code tells us nothing, so we have to parse the output.
Yes, right.
Okay, so it's going to be running if the expression, let's see here, reg comp, that takes a regular expression and then a matching string. Okay,
define a class
for yeah, I'm typing this over here. You don't have to type, I mean, you can type, it's fine. So I was doing like service underscore running and then expression, hash rocket, reg comp, reg cmp, open paren, open quote. And then so this will be like, I guess, caret up, right? Is that what it says? If it's running and you
I think it would say up.
And then I guess the dot star, right? Anything after that. And then close that. And then the next thing, or comma, and then the next thing that comes into this is the string that we're matching. So here we could just do like exec result, and then the path to SV.
Or use shell.
or use shell. So SV status, that's fine for now.
For now. Yeah, right, exactly.
So close the quote there, and then use shell. And that's it. Yeah, that looks right to me. You might want to scope this or guard it to. Are you on? You're on the device directly. Okay.
Yes, right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So let's run that and see what it says.
I might have to put, yeah, okay, service is not running. We knew that. Right. Okay, because it says
down. So now if you do SV status start, right? Is it SV up rather?
This is a bit of a chicken and egg problem, but yeah, we'll take care of it. So I'm going to get out of this, and then actually I can go back into there and say PSFL SSHD. I have to kill it, right? But then that's going to kill my session. It's not. What's running? Oh, maybe it started it. Did it start it by itself? It did.
Now, run. Okay, great. And
wow,
what's the return code?
Okay, it's 0.
It's 0. So, okay. So it's going to say not running because we were looking for up, and it actually says run. Right. So let's edit that policy again.
Okay, and then
let's change your regex from. Wow, so fast. Awesome.
What was I so fast at?
You replaced up with run before I could even see it type. So props on your head. Okay. All right. So the service is running.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do the same thing for stopped, right? So let's have another class for stopped, and so have it down.
Okay, right. Oops. I didn't know what was there. Down.
Downing.
And then run. Okay. And then down there, 7. Right. And then actually this, we could just say service down. Service is down. Right.
Okay, so now if we service or SV down SSHD and run the policy, and SV up SSHD should be back. Okay, cool. So so I think that's like the minimal stuff that we need to manage the service, right? So if we're going to say that this Termux services is going to support states of running and not running, or whatever we want the states to be. So that's another thing. It used to be that the states that you could pass to a services promise were restricted to a specific set. And that was like start, stop, enabled, disabled, something like that. But that has changed quite several years back. I think around 3.7 era. So it's been wide open for a while. But that means that every time you develop a new service policy, you have to decide what states you want to allow.
Right.
So we need to choose names.
It looks like for me, I would like it's interesting because the standard services has running and enabled.
How about running and stopped?
How about like start and stop? I like start and stop. Let's do start and stop.
Hey, that's fine. I hate those words.
What? Oh, you don't like those?
I don't like the imperative nature of
right. Okay, so running.
The state is not start. The state is running and stopped. Like those are the states.
Let's do that. Running and stopped. That makes sense.
All right.
Yeah, cool. So this one stopped, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. And actually I can replace that one too.
Running. Also on both of those, we
Mhm.
should attach an action immediate body.
Okay,
But you probably won't have that because it's not going to be loading the library where you're running it right there.
right. Okay, so
Um,
maybe skip that for now.
Yeah, we can skip it for now.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So the next thing here. So I think you need to evolve this little policy into having like an actual services body. And then we'll have the services bundle. All right. So rename your bundle agent main there to bundle agent Termux services.
Okay.
And let's have it take 2 parameters.
Termux, bundle agent Termux services.
Uh-huh.
Parameters.
2 parameters of like the service and the requested state.
So like the
Or
policy.
desired underscore state. Or that's fine.
Desired.
Policy, like whatever you want. Yep.
I'll do policy. That's kind of matches the others a bit. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so it takes the service and the policy. Okay, and let's also add a body service method Termux underscore services.
Okay. I'll put the name.
A new body.
Body
service underscore method Termux underscore services. And inside it takes no parameters.
Right. Okay.
Inside of that definition, it'll be service underscore bundle with no quotes. Yep. Hash rocket default colon Termux underscore services. Open paren. And then this dot promiser, I think. Hold on a second here.
Okay. Well, it should be over in the this stuff.
This dot promiser and this dot service underscore policy.
This dot, what was it again? Service
underscore policy.
Okay.
Yeah, and close paren and semicolon and close your body. Okay, and then can I see the full context?
Yep.
All right, that helps me. Okay, all right. So, all right, so now we also then need like we need a new bundle agent main again. And then in here we need, services and SSHD, okay, and then it'll be service policy, running service policy, yeah, that's fine, yeah, Termux underscore services. I think that needs to be quoted.
Okay, this part.
Yeah,
right, that makes sense, right? Okay.
And go ahead and okay, so when we request that it is running, you get running. Okay, so now in Termux, what happens when we run this policy?
I'm gonna fix a few things here.
Okay.
And then 16, 17, I want to put is, and then service is. Okay, so we'll have the main, which says, hey, SSHD should be running. We have the bundle agent Termux services, which is going to take a service and a policy. Okay, so it's
right
not
now it's just
policy.
Right. So the next thing we do,
okay,
we need some commands in there, right? In the Termux services.
So unquoted by
they expect unquoted, which means that I've got some errors in examples, which I will.
Okay, it says it's running. So
okay, great.
Down SSHD, test it. SV down up SSHD. Oh, great, cool. That works.
Okay, cool. So all right, so let's edit the Termux services bundle, and we need to add commands.
So service stopped, or I guess we need service stopped.
Service. And it'll be policy running. Yep. And then this will be SV up, and then policy, or right, service, right.
And then contain, which I'll have to write. I'll have to write that body, right?
Yeah, you have to write that body.
And then
I think it's in shell in the standard library.
Okay, service running and
Service running and policy stopped.
Stopped.
We decided, yeah.
Yes, right.
And then SV down service contain in shell, use shell, whatever.
Right.
Okay, and then so we need use shell body.
I'll have to look
Pull
this
one
up.
up here. So contain in shell.
Is this the right one? Yeah, body contain use shell equals use shell. I always crack up when I write that.
Yeah, I know. I always.
How many times do I have to write this to get it to go? 3.
Right.
3 times. Okay, so
we got that. All right, so we also need to define a class for policy state. Yeah.
Running.
So policy running, expression, stir comp, policy running. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then
pretty rigid. We can always expand it later.
Expression. Policy. Okay, what do we have? We have bundle agent main with SSHD promiser and running services. Termux services defines 4 classes, whether it's running based on the command, whether it's stopped based on the command, and then whether or not we specified running or stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And if the service is stopped and the policy is running, then we need to make it up.
Yep.
If it's running and it's supposed to be stopped, then we need to make it down. And then we report on it afterwards. And really, this is based on what we found, not what we did. So these reports are kind of weird now. But that's fine.
Right.
Just go with it for now. So,
and yeah, there's also lots of other cleanup and optimization we can do here. But as far as prototyping out something's working, I think we're on track.
Okay, so it
was stopped.
Yes.
And it was started.
Exactly.
And so if you run that policy again, nothing happens, right? So, yep. And now
so it repaired it.
Edit the policy and let's make it stopped instead of running.
Yep. And then let's see, 5 running stopped.
OPPED.
Okay, so it fixed it again. As you can see,
it was running and then it was stopped.
Right.
And that's it. So now we have like a working services policy for Termux.
Great.
Like,
and the timer.
It's and the timer.
Woo, we win.
That's impressive.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, yeah, we've got some more work to do on this. We can clean it up so that we can have perhaps fewer exec results, you know, things like that. But, you know, this is kind of on the fly how you develop some service management policy. Yeah,
and we could do the same thing for other systems that use other kinds of services. Like, for example, Alpine uses RC, Open RC, which mostly is like an initd, but it differs in a couple of ways. So yeah, this is kind of a framework to work with other service stuff. I suppose, yeah, so there you go.
Awesome.
Cool.
So
I will stop sharing my screen, or I guess I'll keep it, and I guess we're kind of done.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, and we hit the goal, right? We were going to see if we could do this in 30 minutes, and we actually managed to just beat the timer. Nick, that was an awesome pair programming experience with you. Thank you for super great. Your help. That was great. That was real smooth. Thanks for joining us.
Live hackathon in the books.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.